Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on No Way Up, a movie that combines the disaster of a plane crash with the disaster of being trapped underwater. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 13, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Also starring Colm Meany, the transporter chief from Next Generation. He's a pretty good actor. Not exactly sure his role in this. He's kind of the lead, but he's not. They seem to put him a lot in the trailer, but then they give away some plot points in the trailer. I don't know how unrealistic this movie is. So it's about a bunch of people they're on a plane and it crashes and it lands in the ocean, but then it sinks in the water. And then they're trapped in an air pocket. And somehow divers get to them relatively immediately, but then the divers are attacked by sharks, and then it's a battle of survival against the sharks. Writer Andy Mason, I hope you did your research, Andy. Directed by Claudia Fa. That's a name. Because I don't normally play the sound. I don't know how this could work, because initially they imply like they're so deep they can't just swim out, right? They can't just swim out of a plane. That to me would be the logical thing, right? We're underwater, but we'll all swim out and slowly rise to the surface. Just hold your breath. But then it's like, oh no, we can't do that. It's too deep. Okay, if it's that deep, wouldn't the plane get sort of crushed under the pressure? Right? Because it's not really designed to be underwater and hold all the water back. I mean, I guess it's possible. And then then they have to fight, and then the divers come, and that like seems way too quick, unless they crashed just at the right area, right? Like close enough to civilization there would be divers, far enough away that it would be deep enough that they can't just swim out right away. And also incredibly shark-infested waters. So Colm Meany kind of seems like a bit of an action hero through most of this trailer. But then it's implied, I think he dies and passes the torch along to a younger woman who might be his daughter because he calls her kid. I'm not sure. At least they're definitely friends. I'm not sure how it works. I think it might be he's the dad, she's the daughter, but she's black, but maybe she's sort of light-skinned, so maybe she could be related. And then maybe her fiance or boyfriend, and then his friend or brother. I don't know. I'm not quite sure of the relationships here. Doesn't really say. That's kind of important. Like, I would want to know that in the trailer, because those relationships are sort of important. But maybe it's in the synopsis, Tony. Okay, just relax. So first act, they're going on a trip. Everybody's having a good time. It's a trip of a lifetime. It's kind of a weird mix of people. Some older people too. I'm not sure who's related to who. And then the plane takes off. Then there's a big plane crash. Now, there's a scene in which a section of the plane gets ripped off. So clearly there's a giant hole in the plane. And lots of people are killed. So one older woman nearly dies. They have to nearly drowns. They bring her back to life, but other people die. This is always a problem in one of these movies too, like who lives or dies, who they bother to save, kind of thing. So then in the trailer, they sort of set up what the second act is, right? So that's the first act, the plane crashes. The lead up to that. And then the second act, well, we're trapped in the plane, now we got to survive. So Colm Meany remembers that there was an old man with an oxygen tank, and half the plane is submerged, so he goes and swims and steals his oxygen because he's dead. So they take his oxygen, and that gives them more time. They're worried about the structure of the plane, and then the divers show up. Hooray! They're saved. There's her. I guess this is a family. I don't know. I'm not sure how they're related. But then the sharks show up, and now they're battling the sharks. And by the end of the movie, it's just her against the sharks, I guess. I guess everybody else dies. They actually show you a still of a guy with his leg bit off. And then this scene, Colm Meany is like, "You're going to have to do this without me, kid." Something like that. Maybe he's the guy who gets his leg bit. I don't know. So the final bit of this movie, I assume one of them survives. Probably the girl. Yeah. Probably the girl survives to tell the harrowing tale. I'm not huge on disaster movies. I know. I start my analysis saying I'm not huge on any movie except gangster movies. I like gangster movies and action. Disaster movies. First off, I hate movies that take place in the ocean. I don't generally like that. I like Jaws. Jaws is the only one I kind of like. The rest of the movies, I kind of don't like them. But this one, I don't know if I buy the whole thing with the plane underwater that they would last long enough, right? On top of the fact, like when a plane crashes, typically it's like you're done. You're done. The plane hits the water so hard, everybody gets knocked out or killed by the impact. No one survives. Plus, the cabin did depressurize. But, it's a movie. Maybe you suspend your disbelief. But then you got to suspend your disbelief that the plane would survive under the pressure. And then additionally, you got to suspend your disbelief that the sharks are so damn hungry, they're going to be attacking. They're going to be going into the plane to eat people. Live people. As opposed to the many dead bodies that are around. But then you could argue, okay, the dead bodies attract the sharks because there's blood in the water. There's a feeding frenzy going on. But if they had some time to last, that would probably die down. I don't know. And then I don't get the relationship between the various characters, and that's kind of throwing me a little. It's kind of throwing me. So, would I watch it? Probably not. It's billed as a stranded plane horror movie. Yeah, I'm not totally buying it. It looks fine. I mean, Colm Meany is a good actor. He's definitely good in this. I mean, he's like a take charge guy. He's doing all this stuff. Seems a little heavy and puffy for the role, though. I'm gonna lose some weight, Colm. But he's got a presence. He's got a good presence. I like that. But then, like, giving it away that he kind of dies in the second act, I don't think he should have put that in the trailer. I think we should have been rooting for him, and then it should have been a surprise he died. You can give too much away in the trailer. That was too much. I'd rather have known the relationship between Colm Meany and the woman with the dreads. Are they father and daughter? What's their deal? I'd rather know that than to know that he died in the movie. That's a surprise. Their relationship has to support the whole movie. I need to know that. The surprises, keep to yourself, movie makers. All right, let's see if there's a write-up. Yes, I had a feeling. Characters from different backgrounds are thrown together when a plane they're traveling on crashes into the Pacific Ocean. A nightmare fight for survival ensues with the air supply running and dangers creeping from all sides. So maybe they're not related at all? Seems like they knew each other. Seems like some of these characters know each other. In which case, that's misleading too. I mean, these two are clearly together. I'd hate to see if the little girl died. Jeez. It looks like there's only one survivor in this. That would be awful. Or maybe it's the kind of thing that Colm Meany sacrifices himself to save the rest. He kind of seems like the only one in the trailer. He kind of seems like the only one actually doing anything to survive. The others are kind of like, what are we going to do? I kind of hate that too, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this works. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You can make that argument. I do overthink movies. But I don't think it'll be bad. I think it'll be fairly watchable, if a little overdone. I think Colm Meany will carry most of the movie, and it might be a little overdone at the end with the sharks and survival and fighting the sharks, but I think it'll be fairly watchable movie through most of it, would be my analysis. So, weird pitch, but a little different. When's this coming out? Feels like a February release. Late January, early February. But for me, it would definitely be a streaming movie. Definitely be a streamer. Okay, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more based takes. Tomorrow, Saturday, I will be at the Cedar Bridge Tavern from 12 to 5 for the reenactment of the last battle of the American Revolution, which featured Bloody John Bacon, who's featured in Book 6 of the Pineys. Then at 6 p.m., I'm going to try to get to Laurel Springs for their night market. I'll probably be a little late. And then on Sunday, I'll be at Valari's from 9 to 1, assuming we don't get rained out. So stay tuned for that. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.